Storybeans presents The Great Molehill Mix-Up. In the heart of the rolling green countryside, where the daisies danced in the breeze and the sun painted golden patches on the grass, there stood a cheerful little farm called Cloverhill. The farm buzzed with the happy sounds of chickens clucking, pigs snorting, and cows mooing lazily in the sun. But beneath the surface of that peaceful place, something small, very small, was about to become very big. Down in the earth, near the garden patch, lived a mole named Marvin. Marvin was no ordinary mole. He was gentle, tidy, and loved nothing more than sculpting neat little tunnels through the soil. Marvin took great pride in his molehills, small, smooth mounds of earth that popped up like chocolate buttons across the garden. Above the ground, bounding over logs and skipping through puddles, lived a young goat named Greta. Greta was full of energy, curiosity, and imagination. But Greta had one tiny flaw. Well, maybe not tiny. She had a big habit of turning small things into huge dramas. One fine morning, Greta was prancing around the yard when her hoof landed right in the middle of a fresh molehill. "Ah!" she cried, leaping backward in horror. "The earth is erupting! The ground is swallowing the garden!" Chickens flapped their wings in a panic. The pigs grunted and scrambled into the mud. Even the rooster dropped his morning crow mid-cock-a-doodle-doo. Old Alfredo the Alpaca, who had seen many seasons come and go from his quiet spot under the apple tree, lifted his shaggy head. His long neck craned toward the fuss. Marvin, poking his nose out from his tunnel, blinked in confusion.
Excuse me," he squeaked politely. "That's just a molehill. I made it."
"A molehill?" Greta gasped, her eyes widening. No, this is more than a molehill. Look how high it is. Someone could trip, or twist an ankle, or disappear forever into a deep, bottomless hole." Marvin's whiskers twitched.
"It's only a few inches high."
"It's a mountain," Greta declared. "A dangerous, monstrous mountain." By lunchtime, Greta had told every animal on the farm that the ground was breaking apart and molehills were taking over. She even roped Murphy, the farm's dog, into sniffing out earthquakes. Poor Marvin tried to speak up.
It's really just a little mound, helpful for soil and bugs and worms."
But Greta wouldn't listen. She planted a little flag on the molehill and declared it a hazard zone. Eventually, Alfredo the Alpaca rose slowly from his spot under the apple tree. With his long legs and slow, steady walk, he strolled over to Greta and Marvin, who were now surrounded by an audience of anxious animals. "Greta," he said, in a voice as soft and deep as the breeze through the orchard, "what's all this about a mountain?" Greta stood tall and dramatic. "This molehill nearly swallowed my hoof. What if there are more? What if they grow? What if the farm becomes one big mountain of doom?" Marvin blushed and looked down.
"I didn't mean to cause trouble. I was just digging. That's what moles do."
Alfredo peered thoughtfully at the small mound. He said. "Yes, I see."
"See?"
Greta exclaimed.
"Isn't it awful?"
Alfredo repeated. Then he slowly lowered his head and sniffed the molehill. "You know," he said, "when I was your age, Greta, I once thought a puddle was a lake. I refused to go near it, thought I'd drown in it." Greta's ears twitched. "Really?" "Oh, yes," Alfred chuckled. "But then a wise old sheep told me, 'Don't make a mountain out of a molehill.' Back then I didn't know what that meant. but now I think I do. Greta tilted her head.
But this is a mountain, isn't it?
Alfredo gently nudged the molehill with his nose. The soft dirt scattered. Oh, Greta whispered. It's small, Alfredo said kindly. It only seemed big because you got scared and let your imagination carry you away. Marvin nodded shyly.
I didn't mean to scare anyone.
Greta looked down, then back at Marvin. I suppose I did jump to conclusions, she said. Maybe I overreacted a tiny bit.
A tiny bit,
Marvin agreed with a wink. I just thought it was something huge, she said. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
I understand,
Marvin said.
Sometimes things seem scarier when we don't understand them.
Alfredo smiled. And now you both understand each other a little better. From that day on, Greta tried her best not to panic over every tiny bump or strange noise. She learned to take a breath, look closer, and ask questions before leaping to conclusions. And Marvin? He kept building his neat little molehills, but now he added small pebbles on top so no one would trip, and even carved a little sign that said Molehill, not a mountain. And as for Alfredo the Alpaca, well, he went back to his apple tree, smiling as the sun dipped low and the sky turned orange and pink. Sometimes he muttered the words again as he dozed off. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill, unless you want to climb it together. Thank you for watching Story Beans. See you next time.